Hi everyone, this is Keith Stone. I'm here again with Gregory Nagy, and we're going to talk about the Hour 14 discussion question, which has to do with Philostratus On Heroes, and the question had to do with specifically how it is, why it might be that the views about hero cult are more at the surface, I guess, of the text than we found in Homeric poetry.
And I love the way people responded to this question. And many of you used your intuition about how maybe the traditions about cult heroes were dying out. And one thing that I've learned from studying other things, it could be a fashion, it could be a routine for doing things, a whole range of traditional activities, that what seems to happen is that whenever tradition is destabilized, it keeps wanting to refer to itself more. Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm still here, I'm still here, I'm still here. And we'll see this later when people start worrying about whether ancient Greek theater, which was sacred to the god Dionysus, whether there's still any connection of theater with Dionysus. And there were sayings, we'll get into this more later, that amount to something like this: put Dionysus back into theater. It's like put Christ back into Christmas. Wow. It's that kind of wish to reintegrate something that seems to be disintegrating. And that's certainly what happens with cult heroes. And in my analysis of the historical background, I actually go ahead and say that Protesilaos, Trophonius, and other figures like that are practically the only dynamic examples of hero cult anymore. That hero cults are dying out thick and fast, and in a sense consolidating. Could we talk about something that one of our participants sent us? And it's a lovely micro essay entitled "What Homer Really Knew?" ? And it has to do with a passage in Philostratus where the speaker is talking about something that Homer says, where the speaker is aware that Homer must have known what he was talking about. But then the question is how to translate the part in the original Greek where the speaker goes on to say, okay, Homer knew what he meant, but he met ekosmese pola. He rearranged many things, and rearranged many things for the purpose of suiting the logic of his thinking. Well, that's like saying the subtext of Homer is just as important as the text of Homer, and I totally agree. And let's see, how do you translate this? But Homer changed a lot for the sake of the narrative. Yeah, that's what he did, but when we say changed a lot, it's really rearranged a lot. And rearrange implies that it's still an arrangement. It's just a different mode of arrangement, but presumably the order, the cosmos, the logic, is still the same logic. So I encourage further questions like this. I really appreciate it. I think for future discussions about this particular passage, it would be good to see where Philostratus is coming from and where he's going, but that would take us too long here. So I'll leave it at that yes, Homeric poetry does have subtexts. So Keith, I remember fondly your description of Trozen when you visited this beautiful ancient site, and you were standing pretty much where Aphrodite is supposed to have stood when her shrine was created, and where Phaedra herself had been looking down from on high and spotted Hippolytus exercising naked. So this is a moment of passion. In Greek it would be pothos, yearning, longing. But of course, Greek song culture being what it is, you might think about a scene of passion, such as Aphrodite's shrine, how the princess Phaedra is standing where the shrine will be, how she's looking down at the vista. But vistas can apply to us as well. And so in modern Greek, for example, as you well know, there's this beautiful word, agnanti or agnati, which can best be translated as a vista that evokes longing, yearning for a romantic moment in the past, as something that cannot fully be grasped by anybody other than yourself because it's your personal experience. But thanks to myth, of course, everybody experiences something similar, and myth is what brings the emotions together. And in the town of Napoleon, there's another such place where the lookout, the vista, is so beautiful that a restaurant was actually planted on that spot, so that when you go out for dinner at sunset, you look out at the beautiful vista of the slowly descending sun. And it is so beautiful, so nostalgic, so evocative of pothos, yearning, which is of course also the Greek word in the ancient world for yearning for the world of heroes, yearning for that special mortal side of heroic humanity. And I can't resist thinking of Odysseus himself. How many times do we see him standing at a beach and looking out at the vast sea and weeping for his own mortality? And that too is a special kind of yearning. There he is having sexual access to a goddess, dangerous. But in any case, what he's still yearning for is the mortality that is embodied in his wife, whom he misses. Mm-hmm. So many things coming together, and I think what unites it all is the idea of pothos, which has, may I say it this way, a religious side, or I'd say it in a different way, myth ritual side, but then a deeply personal side. So without being too self-revealing, do you want to say a few more words about your agnati experience in Trozen?
Yeah, well, if I could just first pick up with something that you said about longing for a moment in the past. I was thinking, in the story of Phaedra as we know it, she's seeing Hippolytus exercising naked and longing for a moment in the future. Because there hasn't been a past moment yet.
True.
But from the point of view of the shrines, these buildings are standing here on the ledge between the mountain and the plain. And if we kind of personify those buildings, if the shrine of Aphrodite stands for where Aphrodite was standing, and the shrine of Hippolytus and all that, there, Aphrodite is looking down over the plain, thinking back to the story of Phaedra and Hippolytus, looking back to this romantic moment in the past.
It's a beautiful retrospective, and I think of the poem by Seferis, where he's thinking of this secluded beach, and you can visualize his looking out from the beach and feeling the sea breeze blowing toward him and saying to himself how beautiful it is. And then there's the exclamation, "Ti pothos ke ti pathos," what passions, what desires, what passion? In a sense, pothos, accusative plural of pothos, and then pathos, accusative singular of pathos, put them together, and again, it's the feeling of agnanti, ti pothos ke ti pathos.